why I stopped worrying about my baby's development, and why you should too? What if I told you that the milestone charts you're obsessively checking, the developmental apps you're constantly updating, and the comparison game you're playing with other babies on social media are actually taking away from the joy of parenting? I spent my first year as a mother in a state of constant anxiety, and I'm going to save you months of unnecessary stress in the next 6 minutes. We all do this. We tell ourselves, I'll relax when she sits up. I'll feel confident when he starts walking. I'll stop worrying when she says her first word. But here's the truth I wish I had known earlier. 3 years ago, when my son Marcus was born, I became obsessed with developmental milestones. I had the apps, the charts, the books, everything. Each week brought a new checklist, a new target, a new opportunity for anxiety to take root. Is he tracking objects properly? Should he be babbling more? Why isn't he rolling over yet? This wasn't just casual curiosity, it was consuming me. I remember canceling dinner with friends because Marcus hadn't achieved the proper pincer grasp the app said he should have by 9 months. Instead of enjoying dinner, I spent the evening frantically searching online forums and practicing finger exercises with a baby who just wanted to play. The turning point came during a well baby visit. Marcus was 11 months old, and I arrived with a notebook full of concerns. My pediatrician, this wonderful, wise woman who had seen thousands of babies, put down her clipboard order, looked me straight in the eyes, and asked, "Sarah, when was the last time you just played with your baby without thinking about what skill he was developing?" Ooh, I couldn't answer, and that silence was deafening. She then told me something profound. Development isn't linear. Those milestone charts, they're averages. They're snapshots of thousands of babies who all developed in their own unique ways. Some babies walk at 9 months, others at 18 months. Both are normal. Both are perfect. What really hit me was when she said, "The children I worry about the least are the ones whose parents worry the most." Because those parents are paying attention, they're present, they're engaged. Think about yourself for a moment. Did anyone at your last job interview ask at what age you rolled over? Has anyone in your adult life ever questioned whether you achieved your pincer grasp on time? Of course not. I also had this realization after working with hundreds of families in my child development classes. The parents who seemed happiest weren't the ones whose babies did everything early. They were the ones who had learned to trust the natural unfolding of their child's unique developmental story. One mother in my class had twins who couldn't have been more different. Aiden crawled at 7 months, while his sister Zoe showed zero interest in mobility until 11 months, when she practically skipped crawling and went straight to cruising along furniture. Today, at age 5, you couldn't tell who did what first. They're both running, jumping, normal kids with their own strengths. Science backs this up too. A groundbreaking study from the Royal Children's Hospital followed 10,000 children from birth to age 18. They found that 90% of children who were late on certain milestones caught up completely by school age, with no discernible differences in outcomes. The human brain is remarkably plastic, especially in those early years. So what's really going on with our milestone anxiety? It's rarely about the baby. It's about us. It's about our need for control in the fundamentally uncontrollable journey of parenthood. It's about external validation that we're doing a good job. It's about our society's unhealthy obsession with achievement and comparison, which now unfortunately begins in infancy. Here's what I've learned to do instead. First, I shifted from milestone watching to strength spotting. Instead of focusing on what Marcus wasn't doing yet, I started noticing what he loved, what energized him, what made his eyes light up. He wasn't walking early, but he was incredibly observant. He noticed every airplane that crossed the sky, That's a strength. Second, I created a worry window. I gave myself 10 minutes each week to write down any developmental concerns. When the 10 minutes were up, I closed the notebook and returned to being present. If something was still worrying me 3 weeks in a row, then, and only then, would I bring it up with our doctor. Third, I learned the difference between red flags and variations. Yes, there are legitimate developmental concerns that warrant intervention, but they're not the same as natural variations in timing. Educate yourself on the difference and save your worry for the actual red flags. Fourth, I stopped comparing. Every child is on their own timeline, with their own strengths, challenges, and biological blueprint. When I felt the urge to compare Marcus to another baby, I would silently repeat, different children, different stories. The most beautiful part? Once I stopped obsessing about development, I actually started seeing it more clearly. When you're not anxiously looking for specific milestones, you notice the subtle, magnificent progression that happens every day. You see the proto-words, the almost crawls, the nearly there skills that build gradually and naturally. I know it can be hard to let go of the milestone anxiety, especially when it feels like everyone around you is tracking and measuring and comparing. But I promise you this, your child is unfolding exactly as they should. Your awareness, your love, your engagement, these matter infinitely more than whether they roll over at 4 months or 6. I want to leave you with a question. What could open up for you and your baby if you put down the checklists and picked up more presents? What joy might you discover in the unscripted, uncharted territory of your unique child's development? For those of you who want to dive deeper into supporting your baby's development without the anxiety, I've created a comprehensive guide called Beyond Milestones, the Relaxed Parent's Approach to Development. It's packed with evidence-based strategies, relaxation techniques, and strength-spotting activities. You can download it free from the link in the description. Like and subscribe if this resonated with you, and share your own milestone anxiety stories in the comments. Much love. See you in the next video.